All right, today we are going to do an extension of our linear unit. So this really is what separates the regular from the honors right here, is we are going to talk about the third dimension. And so we're going to do an extension of systems. Instead of two variable systems finding where two lines intersect, we are going to find where three lines intersect. So I had you do a little pre-work before today, and you kind of got acclimated to what X, Y, and Z represented. So X represented the left to the right up here, the Y represented up and down on a piece of paper, but then the Z represents above and below the paper in the third dimension. So what we're going to do today is work on, you can see down here, these are what we would consider a system of three variables. So three equations with three variables. And we're going to try to find out what are X, Y, and Z. So that's our goal, is what actually are the numbers of X, Y, and Z? Where do these three lines intersect? Now, tomorrow we're going to do special situations with systems. But today, this is what it's always going to look like. Your X's are going to line up, your Y's, your Z's, and then we will move forward. So you already know everything that you need to know to solve these. There's just a lot of steps to make this happen, because now we're going to use elimination methods today and a few substitutions at the end. So what we're going to do here to start, to organize ourselves, and this is really for my sake, is so I can help you in case you get stuck somewhere. We have a common language. So we're going to label these. Our first step is we're going to label these as A, B, and C. And again, that's just to help me be able to help you if you get stuck somewhere. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take a look, and remember, we're going to use elimination. So what I always do to start is I always take a look at what my original equations have and if I can eliminate anything off the bat. So let's just say that I covered up C right now, and I just looked at A and B and I tried to add them together. If I tried to add them together, as you notice, the X's won't cancel, the Y's won't cancel, the Z's won't cancel. So I'm going to move on. Let me try a different one. Let me cover up the B. So if I cover up the B and I were to add A and C together, my X's don't cancel, but look at that, my Y's cancel right away. So in my head, I'm thinking, okay, I'm going to pick A and C because I don't have to do any manipulations to A and C. So I'm going to pick A plus C. Whoops, let me get my drawer back here. I'm going to do A plus C in order to answer my first step. So I'm just going to rewrite this over here. So A is 2x plus y plus z equals 2. And then my C is negative x minus y plus 2z equals 7. Now I can eliminate these. So I'm going to add them together. 2x minus x gives me 1x. My y's cancel. 1z plus 2z gives me 3z equals 9. Okay, now that we are going to call this equation D. And there's a reason in a second, again, is to organize our paper a little bit. So this is going to be equation D. Okay, I want you to keep that in mind because we are going to use it in a little bit to answer step number 4. Okay, so keep that in mind. 1x plus 3z equals 9. Okay, let's go to the next step. Come on. Okay, so on the next step, we are going to take, let me get rid of this. Okay, we are going to now pick two different equations. So I'm going to relabel these back to A, B, and C. Now, in our last one, we picked A and C. So we already have A plus C. So we can't pick that again. Now we need to either pick a combination of A plus B or B plus C. So our choices are AB or BC. So let's just take a look at it. I can choose, if I choose to pick A and B, okay, you'll notice here again, the Y's don't cancel. And that's the important thing here in our directions, is we have to eliminate the same variable. So if we chose to eliminate the Y back in step 2, we have to eliminate the Y again in step 3 when we pick two different equations. So you can see the y's don't cancel. Okay, well, let's try something else here. So let's try the other one. So what if I covered up the A this time and I picked B and C? Well, again, the y's don't cancel, so I would have to manipulate it somehow. So this is really up to you and whatever you think it's easy. So like I could pick A and B, but you could pick B and C. It doesn't matter. We'll end up with the same answer. Since I already have this one boxed in, I'm just going to pick B plus C and go with that one. So I'm going to go with B plus C. So I'll rewrite that. Negative 3x plus 2y plus 3z equals 7. And then negative x minus y plus 2z equals 7. So remember, our goal is we have to eliminate the same variable. So in order to finish this, I have to eliminate my y's because I eliminated my y's back in step 2. So in order to do this, I would need to multiply this bottom equation by 2. Then I would have negative 2x minus 2y plus 4z equals 14. Now I can take that and I can add b plus c together. So I don't need this anymore. I already manipulated that. So negative 3x minus 2x gives me negative 5x. My y's cancel. And then I have 3z plus 4z is 7z equals 21. 7 plus 14 is 21. Okay, this new equation is E. Okay, so now what I've done is I've taken 3 equations and I've cut it down to 2 equations. So I'm eliminating, trying to make things smaller to make things easier to work with. So again, I want you to think about that, keep that in your head. Negative 5x plus 7z equals 21. Okay, let's hop back to the next page or go forward to the next page and clear all this. Okay, so now the reason why, let's look at D and E. So I'm going to put D and E here together. So D, I got 1x plus 3z equals 9. And then my E, I got negative 5x plus 7z equals 21. So you can see why I told you it's really important that you have to eliminate the same variable. So in step 2, when we did a plus c, we eliminated y. And then in step 3, we did b plus c. We also eliminated y because look what happens. Now I have a real system that I know how to solve, a 2-variable system. X lines up, the z lines up. Now I can do my elimination the way that I know how. So we're going to go ahead and solve this one. We can multiply this top one. Oops, let me get we can multiply the top one by a positive 5 because then my x's will cancel. So let's multiply that. I'll get 5x plus 15z equals 45. Now, okay, I'm done with that one. I can add these together. So my x's cancel. 15z plus 7z is going to give me a 22z. And then 45 plus 21 gives me 66. Divide by 22, and I get z is 3. Okay, so now when you solve a system, remember our old-fashioned way is we would take this z and we're going to plug it back into one of these equations up here. So let me erase this because, oh no, go back. Didn't mean to do that. Okay, I'm going to plug it back into this one, the first one, because it's less numbers, more positive. So I'm going to take that z here, take that out. So it'll be 1x plus 3 times 3, which is 9, equals 9. I'll subtract the 9. And I'll get 1x equals 18. I'm sorry, 1x equals 0. Those cancel. So my x is 0. All right, so now I have 2 variables of the 3 variables that I need. Now moving on to step 5, so that was step 2. Step 5 says to substitute your solution from number 4, so this solution, z and x, to find the other variables. So we are going to take those 2 and plug it in. You can plug it into any of the original equations, 3 variable equations we started with. Any one of them, doesn't matter, you get the same answer. So I'm going to plug it into the top one just because it looks the easiest, less negatives, less numbers. So the x was 0, so I'm going to plug that in here. So that'll be 2 times 0 plus y plus my z, which is 3. So the 2 times 0 goes away, and I'm left with y plus 3 equals 2. So I'll subtract the 3 to this side, and I'll get y equals -1. So my final answer should be written as x comma y comma z, which would be 0, comma y, so alphabetical order, comma 3. And remember what this means is that the 0 doesn't go anywhere. The -1 would go up on the paper, and the number 3 would rise above the paper 3 spaces to make that 3rd dimension. Okay, good luck on your homework. If you need any more help or examples, please let me know.